My guest today is Dr. Jeffrey Dann, and he is the creator of the Koshi balancing system, an integrative Japanese approach to holistic healing. Now, this is the point where I bring in the astrology of either what we're talking about, and when my guest allows, I get to bring in my guest astrology. And Dr. Jeffrey Dann is very generous to share his chart. So let's just bring that in now. Your sun is in Libra, your moon is in Gemini, and your ascendant, your rising sign is Scorpio. And I just have to say, one of my all-time favorite people is Groucho Marx. And guess what? He has the
I love it.
it's a great combination. But when we talk about Libra energy, oh my gosh, it's all about how to be in balance. It's the only sign that is an inanimate object. It's not an animal. It's the scales. It's how can we bring that harmony, balance in? And I mean, my goodness, that is the absolute essence of what you do, bringing balance to the body. So, in that sense, you're a beautiful example of being an imbalanced Libra. And then when you throw in the intensity of Scorpio rising, now, Scorpio and Libra, they don't naturally go together because, Libra has a desire. They do want things to be peaceful and beautiful. And Scorpio is that underbelly of saying, no, 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 things aren't always peaceful. Sometimes there's some taboo subjects we need to address. And Scorpio energy is the desire to get to the root of a problem. So when you talked about, what you do is not just, I'm not just going to clear a blockage. You figure out the deficiency. You figure out what is causing this blockage and what can someone do to prevent further blockages from happening. I just thought, wow, that's so Scorpio. So, and a lot of healers are Scorpio rising. It allows for the passion, the obsession to be able to say, okay, let's do the research, let's dig deep, let's persevere, and let's get to the bottom of what is really going on. What's causing these misalignments? So I just think that you're a beautiful example of combining that passion of Scorpio with the desire to bring balance and harmony to your surroundings, your environment, to your patients with the Libra energy. And then you throw in that very fun Gemini moon, which is a playful, curious, communicative moon. You're a great teacher. And you're even, you're teaching all the time. There's a wonderful online class you're offering in November. And I am going to upload those links to Through the Lens of Astrology Facebook group and to the Beacon of Light Radio group on Facebook. So if you want to sign up for Dr. Dan's class, and it doesn't matter, you can be a medical professional or you could just be interested. You can sign up. He's an amazing teacher. That's that Gemini moon. Gemini gives you the desire to teach what you know. And so you're really a great example of being in balance with all of those energies. And how do you feel? How do you feel about your connection to your astrology?
Well, that's very interesting. So I have a question for you,
Okay.
right? Because I like what you said about the Gemini. And I think that sometimes my Gemini quality can lead me astray so that I get interested in too many different things. Or, oh, that's enticing. Oh, that's really interesting. How do I integrate it? So sometimes I think I have to control my Gemini because I think there are so many levels to truth. I've never been a person say, this is the only way.
Well,
And
you brought up a great point. And what you brought up is that between your Gemini moon and your Scorpio ascendant, it actually creates what's called an inconjunct. And this is energy that doesn't naturally blend because they are in different elements. One is water, one is air. They're in different modalities. Scorpio is fixed water versus mutable air. So when you have an inconjunct in your natal chart, you have to consciously blend the two energies. And so sometimes what we do is we bounce back and forth between the two. And so that's what you're responding to because you're so naturally intuitive. But Gemini is that air. And then you double up on the air with your sun. So Libra and
Hmm.
Gemini, and it's very social. It's all about
Hmm.
verbal, about talking, about communicating and teaching. And Gemini it does represent the curiosity, that endless quest of, oh, this is interesting. Oh, but this is interesting too. And oh, that's also interesting. And
Right.
that's just, I like to say, look at your natal birth chart as a beautiful gift you give yourself, and that those are your astrological superpowers. And I'm borrowing the superpower from Michelle Auerbach, a guest I who talks about your superpowers. And when we view it that way, you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to love my curiosity, and I am going to pursue my desire to bring balance and harmony to my surroundings and to myself and to everyone I encounter. And I am going to pursue all of that with the Scorpio passion. So I will
Hmm.
prioritize and I will dig deep, which you have. I think you've blended it beautifully.
Hmm. So I have another question for you about
Okay.
my chart. Many years ago, when
The
I had a
Gemini moon. This
reading,
is hilarious.
yeah.
What you're talking about. Go ahead.
Well, this friend astrologer said, "Oh, when I see your chart, and I'm seeing if you concur with this, so everything was in the upper, most everything is in the upper hemisphere,
Okay.
and much less in the lower hemisphere of the chart." And I found that this is very true, and I've had to cultivate more stillness and presence to be able to balance my external social excitements, I think.
Well, that's a great point. And it also has to do with that you have the sun and moon in air. Okay. So it's not just
Hmm.
that the energy is above, but that it's also you've got that air. So that combination's absolutely when you have planets above, the focus is outward and you're teaching,
Hmm.
you're sharing, it's your knowledge, everything you have. You're generous with all of your talents and it's going out and
Hmm.
it's going out. And so that's why I do say when people have a lot of air or they have planets above the chart, meditation is one of the
Yes.
things
Hmm.
to incorporate, because air equals thoughts, and air signs can have just a lot of thoughts. There's always something going on, and so it's hard to feel that stillness. And so when you
Hmm.
meditate, it allows for the mind. It's like you can unravel any excess stress or grief or any excess energy that may be creating that imbalance. So incorporate meditation, and that will help to bring in the more reflective energy that is more connected to the lower half of a chart.
Yeah, I find that to be very true. And even clinically or therapeutically, it's so easy. Someone walks in, you see they've got, let's say, a bad back, and say, I know how to fix that. I'm going to do this and that. No, like my evolution is first listen to what the body has to say rather than think, oh, I think I know exactly what your problem is. You can't lift this up because that's locked. No, I just want, let's have a conversation. Have your deep soul self
Mm.
and my going into stillness as we make contact. What does your body want to tell me rather than what do I think you need? So that's how I think therapeutically it's important, whether that's going into a meditative state rather than an active state of doing first. To really make that deep connection is essential. I Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's beautifully put. And that is a gift of the inconjunct as well, because it really does mean you can have that. Scorpio is the most intense energy in the zodiac.
Hmm.
It is deep, profound water feeling passion. And so I really, once you combine that energy, I tell anybody, if look, when you have inconjuncts, find them. They are really
Mhm.
powerful. And a lot of times people don't activate them completely because they don't understand that they're both gifts. You get to open both. You don't have to choose or
Mhm.
bounce back and forth. So I think that was just so beautifully put. When you've got that air, we can get too much in our mind. And
Mhm.
we want to make sure. So, air signs listening, if you're Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, you got a lot of air, make sure that you incorporate those healing techniques to get you out of the mind into your heart or into your abdomen,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Yeah, right.
So then
Yeah.
you're really feeling and being connected to your own intuition.